What's happening, everybody? Welcome, welcome. Everyday Dad is in the building. Hey, Gary. Let's see if you can guess what frames per second what frame rate I'm doing this in. Who else do we got here? Say hey in the chat. David, welcome and thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's not actually 60. It might end up getting converted to 60, but it's not in 60 originally. I think that's like something with the conversion going on. I don't know if that's just the capture card or what, but we're in 30 today, so you'd be proud of me. David says, you've inspired me to actually start my channel. That's awesome. That's great. Fantastic. Hey, somebody give me a quick banana in the chat if the sound is all right, or let me know if you need more music, less music. Can you hear me okay? All that kind of stuff. I'm feeling pretty good. Can you hear that siren in the background that's going on? I gotta leave the window open or it gets way too hot in here, you guys. What's up, Don? Don Say Kang. Am I pronouncing that right? I think I got that one. I'm not usually very confident, but I think I got that one. Thanks so much, Evan Fraser, Brenda, hello. Mike's in here. Mike from London. You know it. Everyday Dad just gave a super chat because I'm in 30 frames per second. Jeez. That's pressure. That's positive reinforcement. I like it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We got bananas in the chat. I like it. John, welcome. Everyday Dad is famous in the chat already. Kyle and Andrea said, I thought today was going to be a photo day. I skipped last week. So I decided I wanted to do this one. Partially because there's 1 week left to submit for my competition, for the 2 competitions that I have going on, and I wanted to give an opportunity for anyone to ask questions. I have some kind of like frequently asked questions that I'll go over in this live, but I also wanted to give you guys an opportunity to ask any questions you might have. And I just like doing these, and we haven't in a while, so we'll get back to the editing ones next week. Jose says hi from Boston. Hey! More bananas in the chat. James here. Congrats on 100K. Thanks so much. Ignacio says, I'm currently doing the contest video. It's very creative. I am so excited to see the contest videos and the contest photos too. Like, I haven't looked at any of them, but I'm very, very excited. There are a lot of them in there already. We've got over, I think it was 450. I checked yesterday, so it's probably a lot more now, but there were 450 photos and 150 videos, I think it was. Just insane. You guys know what I forgot to do is I forgot to share this over on Instagram. If you guys are just joining us, welcome. We got 26 people. We're just getting started. I'm just giving people a second to get in here before I really get into it. Feel free to share this on your Twitter and your Instagram and wherever else you share stuff. I'm going to make a quick Instagram post so that people know that we're live over here. We're hanging out. Straight fastballs tonight. No Dunna curve. You got it. Yeah. The old Dunna curve. I'm never going to live that down now. Nor do I want to. All right. Doing a little sharing. Who else do we got in the chat? Ian Brightman says, what coffee you drinking? We're on Kicking Horse 454 horsepower tonight, done through an AeroPress, through the new AeroPress Go. AeroPress Go? I think that's what it's called, the smaller one. Cheers to you guys. Kyle and Andrea says, I'm trying to get the contest video done, but between starting a new channel and 2 music videos and 1 other project, I haven't had time to film the video contest video I came up with. Jeez, you are busy. You are straight up busy. Who else is working on their video for the video contest? I'm so excited to see what you guys come up with. There's so many ridiculously talented and creative people. Oh, my wife's in the chat. Hi. All right, did my little share over there on Instagram so people know what's up. German says, best regards and congratulations. Hello, welcome, and thank you so much. We got a hi from Paris. Hello everyone who's joining us. We're 28 strong in the chat right now. Ignacio says, I'm doing an animation. Ooh, I'm excited to see that. So, okay, interesting quick story before I hop into my YouTube stuff and start answering any questions you guys might have. I just, as kind of a little celebration for myself for hitting my 100K milestone, I got myself the iPad 11 Pro. And I'm just starting to take a look into drawing cartoons. Just something that I've always wanted to do, and have like very loosely tried to like start about 100 times throughout my life, and always just kind of given up pretty quickly. So I'm excited to try and start drawing on the 11 Pro here on the iPad. All right, should we hop into some questions? Why did my music go away? What's going on here? I don't know how to make it loop. I updated my operating system. It updated a bunch of stuff, and I don't know what's going on anymore. There we go. I think I got it now. All right. BP from YT says, can you tell me when will the Deity D4 Duo release? I would love to know that. They're on for pre-order right now. I'm pretty sure it's in July that they're shipping. You might want to check with the Deity folks though. If you have Twitter, they are quite responsive over there, and I bet they could let you know. It's probably something I should have known before I put my video out on it. But I was just excited. It's a great little mic. When am I coming to Northern Ireland to do a video with Dill Takes Photos? I just did a little collab, kind of long distance collab with him, but I don't know. Someday it would be nice to be out there and to see him in his territory. He came to Canada, but we weren't really anywhere near where I exist. So, all right, you guys, I got a bunch of questions from you guys. I put it out there on Instagram earlier to see if you guys had any questions about me and my start on YouTube and what it was like to get to, you know, how I got here and that kind of stuff. And you guys came up with some questions, so I'm gonna hop over to Instagram and see what we got. Advice for a content creator who just started YouTube. So that's a great place to start. So when I started my YouTube channel, it really was a creative outlet. So if you guys don't already know, I'm a music producer, recording engineer, and that's what I do full time. So I own a recording studio here in Edmonton, and that's my full-time job. And there was something happening inside of me where it's a very creative job. It's really nice to get to make music all the time, but there's something about making music for everybody else kind of thing. Like I was definitely, taking on these projects, and I kind of always had to answer to the client, and they're paying me and that kind of stuff. So they didn't really ever feel like they were my projects. Even if I got to use some creative skills as a part of my job, it didn't really feel like I was getting my outlet. So I decided at some point, I had started to kind of play around with editing photos that I was taking on my iPhone just in like the Instagram app with their controls and some other apps that I had downloaded, and I started to kind of get into that, and I thought it would be cool to get into a real camera. And so I decided to start looking on YouTube for what to do there, and then I kind of, you know, like I got obsessed with a couple of YouTubers, and namely into kind of the vlogging world, and that really kickstarted things for me. Is the idea of like watching some of these guys and kind of like being inspired by them and wanting to try and recreate what I was seeing, and from kind of both sides, from a storytelling point of view and from a sharing my story, that kind of thing, but also from like a technical aspect. If you guys watch my videos, you guys know that like I'm not the most technical person, but I get technical on kind of a practical level. And so something that really interested me was like learning about photography and videography and that kind of stuff. This is like 3.5 years ago, something like that. So I pick up my first camera and I go on vacation with it, and my idea was to use this camera to get photos on vacation. No idea what I'm doing at this point, and I was like, okay, well, I'll shoot some video too, and maybe I can stitch together a video when I get back. Never ever made that video. I did edit the photos up. Looking back on them is interesting. Maybe I'll make a video about that sometime. But there was kind of a spark there to start with, and I started my YouTube channel shortly after that. And it was just vlog content. And the real key to me starting my YouTube channel and taking it as far as I did was kind of what I was talking about before, where like my work felt like work. And then the YouTube and the photography and the videography and that kind of stuff got to be my creative outlet. Even though, like I said, like obviously music is a creative endeavor, I was doing it for other people, and then this got to be creative for me. You know, I don't have to answer to anybody. Nobody can tell me that I'm doing it right or doing it wrong. I just get to do what I want and put it out there if I want to. And I don't have to put it out there. I can just create. And so that would be, I guess, my advice to someone starting out on YouTube. If you're just starting your channel, is just make sure that you're doing it for you to start with. You can look at the analytics and you can try and make it so that your channel is growing and that kind of stuff too. But you want to make sure that you're doing stuff that feels good to you, because otherwise you're going to quit in a month. You know, like there are definitely some people that try for the fame and the fortune of YouTube, which is a huge shot to take. Not impossible, but it's a big shot to take. And if you don't have the love for it, you're going to run into the same problem that anyone working a 9-to-5 that hates their job is going to run into. There's like, it can turn into a job too. So you have to make sure that you absolutely love it when you get into it. So that would be, I guess, my advice is just make sure that whatever it is that you're doing on your channel, it's actually something that you like to do. And you're not just doing it because you have some idea of what it could be kind of thing. You have to enjoy that process. And then as it rolls on, you can start to incorporate other things and grow the channel or whatever as it goes. So if you guys are just joining us, I know we just got a surge of people. We're talking about kind of my YouTube story and how I got to where I am and that kind of stuff. If you want to leave a question in the chat, you can do that there. If you want to grab a coffee, I highly recommend it because coffee is delicious and stimulating. And also, for all of you guys that are here, make sure you hit the like button on this so that YouTube suggests it to some more people. I'm going to go back to my questions from Instagram. Now, I specifically tried to ask for questions about, my YouTube journey and that kind of stuff. And there are a lot of questions about other things, namely photography, lenses, cameras, that kind of stuff. So I am going to try and get to the YouTube questions first. So if you guys have questions about that, that's great. If the conversation goes on and we decide to get into nerdy camera stuff, we can definitely do that. Okay, those are all technical. I'll come back to those if if that makes sense. All right. What else do we got? We got some questions in the chat. Brenda says, we had a very strong and heavy rainstorm in Calgary on Saturday evening, brought a torrential rain and damaging hail, causing flash flooding. How you guys did? Any rain in Edmonton? We've had a lot of rain lately. That is not YouTube related. Like I thought, I saw a big chunk in the chat, and I thought this is for sure like a YouTube question. And then as I read into it, yeah, it's been raining a lot here. Mosquitoes are crazy. Some storm stuff and lots of wind and that kind of thing, but nothing too insane, I guess. We got a question here that says, hello, I wanted to apply for your video compilation, but I'm stuck to what I need to take. The video will probably my first pro video, and I will use M50. I hope you'll give me an idea what I need to do. Honestly, I left, so the competition, if you guys don't know what they're asking about here, the competition is to celebrate 100,000 subscribers and this channel. And there are some huge prizes. Talking about the video, there are actually two competitions. So the video competition, there is, so in the video side, you have to submit a video less than 3 minutes. And this is to get back to the question. There is no real guideline on what the video has to be. If it's a music video, great. If it's a skit, if it's, B-roll compilation, whatever you want it to be, as long as it's under 3 minutes. And all you have to do is upload that to YouTube, and there's a form that you can send me the link. I have left the link to the video announcement of that with all the info of the contest in the description of this video. So if you want to go check that out, you can. But yeah, the prizes are crazy. The prizes for the video contest, there's like an A7 III, a backpack, a monopod, lights, deity microphone, music bed, subscription, all sorts of stuff. And then there's a photo competition as well. Same idea. There's no real like theme or anything like that. All you have to do is send me an Instagram post. So you send me the link to an Instagram post through the form that's on my website. So you have to go to the video and then find the link in the description there. So yeah, there's to answer your question more directly, there is no theme. You can just do whatever. You just have to get creative, and sometimes that's a difficult thing, and you can really prove your creativity by coming up with something without any kind of guidelines. That's sometimes that's the toughest thing to do. Mr. Camera Junkie says, best advice for someone starting their YouTube journey. You're definitely one of the people who inspired me to start uploading. Thanks for all you do. I don't know if that was like a question or if you were commenting on what I was talking about before, but like I said, just make sure it's something that you have fun with. Because otherwise you're gonna burn out, and it's not gonna be fun for you. Yeah. Alan Bryan says, I literally only make vlog style videos so that my friends and I can look back and see our trips. I never made videos to get popular on YouTube. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like when I first started making them, they were just fun little vlogs, and my wife and I would watch them back, and it was fun to see. But yeah. The Wong reviewer says, how do you stay grounded and true to yourself as you reached 100K and become an influencer, quote unquote? It's easier than you think. I don't feel famous. I don't feel special. I don't know. I finally went and got my hair cut, and I don't know. I don't get recognized or anything like that anywhere. I mean, it helps that most of the people that watch me are in the States, and not local, but like, I don't know, like when I told my my hair stylist, she was kind of asking me like, how big is your channel? She was asking me about what I do and that kind of thing, and I mentioned the YouTube channel, and she's like, oh, like, do you have a decent amount of followers? And I was like, yeah, like I just crossed 100,000, and like she was like, whoa, like, so in everyday stuff, it doesn't really feel like much. Not a whole lot has changed. And it's a funny thing when you're, I was talking with Leela, you guys might know her as Leela from YouTube. We had a little chat earlier today, and it's this funny thing we were talking about, like when you're at 10 subscribers, you feel like 100 is like this crazy thing, and then when you're at 100, it doesn't feel that crazy, and then then you get to 1,000, and then 1,000 like doesn't feel that crazy, and then 10,000, once you're there, it's like, okay, nothing much has changed. Like, it's nice to get those milestones and stuff, but you don't feel like a different person. I was also listening to Becky and Chris's podcast, and Chris said something very similar about he thought that once he reached a certain like milestone or whatever, that it would feel less awkward to vlog in public, and it just never does. It's just always awkward. So yeah, not a whole lot changes. You just have to deal with more emails, basically, and lots of comments. Because I try and, you guys know me, I try and get back to as many of the comments as I can, yeah, that can be a little difficult when you're at the level where there's lots coming in. Yama Azizi says, can you touch on spousal support? Well, that's like 100% important. If you are someone who has a partner, and I can't even imagine what it would be like if I didn't have such a supportive spouse. I would be shattered, and this would not work. I would have quit a long time ago if I didn't have a very supportive partner. So, and she's super, super helpful to me too. And when I get behind on things, and when I'm doing live streams, she often will pipe up and help me catch up in the chat. But yeah, it's a huge thing, and it's super important that if you are the partner of somebody, that you guys have just have an open communication about what it is. That's the times when it gets tough for us, are the times when the communication gets cut off. Like when we get busy and we're not talking to each other enough, that's when it gets really hard. When the expectations and the communication is clear, that's when, you know, it's really, really awesome. You know, if I'm having a hard time catching up or getting videos done in time or that kind of thing, and I say that out loud, if I tell her that and I say that, like, you know, I'm having a tough time right now, I'm really stressed about this, then all of a sudden it becomes so much easier for that person to be supportive. Whereas if they don't have that information, they just go like, why are you, you know, they're just like like in the dark about why you're in a bad mood or why, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, so it's I think communication is huge, and having a supportive spouse has been a huge part of why I am who I am and I do what I do. That was long-winded. Okay, how behind in the chat? Oh, I'm not bad. Okay, we're good here. I need a coffee break though, and to find my spot again. All right, we got some equipment questions. I'm gonna try and find some YouTube-y questions. Well, this is close. James Hargrove says, oh, sorry, I got distracted. Zach said, this guy has the best looking live show. Seriously, better than any other. It's because of my new haircut, isn't it? James says, what advice would you give someone looking to go full-time with music production and film? Do you believe it's possible to pursue both? I mean, you're kind of looking at it, I guess, like if it's possible. I mean, I don't know if I really consider myself like a filmmaker. I think YouTuber is probably a more fitting title for what I do. But I mean, my full-time job is I'm a music producer, and my part-time job is I do YouTube. So it's definitely possible. I am the living proof. Danny says, if you could go back in time to Dunna on YouTube day one, what would you tell him? Here's what I would tell him. In my very first vlog that I posted, I said, if it ain't broke, keep doing it. I had this funny idea in my head that I was going to take common phrases like that, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I was going to screw them up and have it be this like funny thing. And I was going to try and do that in every video and make it a thing. And then I did it in the first video and I never did it again. But that's what I would tell that old Dunna, past Dunna. I would just say, keep doing it. If it ain't broke, keep doing it. We got a super chat from Dave Post Color Gear. Did you ever get discouraged? Like few videos that did poorly, you almost gave up. Every day dad is wrong about 30p. Did I ever get discouraged? Yeah, I think I've gotten discouraged a lot of times, and my wife could probably attest to this better than I could, because it's hard to see when you're in the middle of it. When you're feeling discouraged, or when you're feeling depressed or anxious, or I put these boundaries on myself, and the boundary for me was to release a video every week. And I put those boundaries on myself because it keeps me accountable, but it also has the opposite effect sometimes, where if you're having a stressful week and it's hard, or you're behind and you're not quite gonna get it up on time, like, then it can be really stressful. And yeah, it can be really discouraging at times. But the support and the positivity is overwhelming. If you look at it, if you really look at it, this community, and especially this niche, like I obviously I can't speak to every niche on YouTube, but this specific niche is overwhelmingly positive. I would say for every 200 positive comments I get one negative one. Now, it is really hard not to focus on that negative one, but when you kind of go back and you try and get perspective, and that's the best way that I've found to try and help myself get through those tougher times, kind of thing. So yes, I get discouraged, but I get through it by just trying to think about the good things. Kyle and Andrea want to know if you can submit for both contests. Yes, you can. You can submit one photo in the photo contest, one video in the video contest. Butch came and went. Hello and goodbye, Butch. Time for some coffee. Any plans to visit India after the COVID situation? You really have a lot of fans here. I do have a lot of fans in India. I don't know why that happened. It's funny to see when I go to my YouTube analytics, and it's like US is always the top, and with like a decent margin. And then it's like India, Philippines, UK, Germany, and then Canada. And I'm like, how is Canada so far down on that list? I live here, right, you guys? Like, come on. But yeah, India's often the second place on my where my subscribers come from and stuff. It would be cool to go there. I don't have any plans to necessarily, like solid plans, but who knows? I'd like to do more traveling in the future. Finding questions in the chat. Alan says, I'm drinking bourbon instead of coffee. My wife says, thanks, love. I forget what I said to deserve that, but you're the best. I love you. All right. Shady says, congrats, love from Egypt. Hello, welcome, thank you. Thanks so much for coming. We got 47 people in the chat. Feeling good. All right, if you guys are just joining us, we're kind of talking about my YouTube journey, and if you guys have any questions about YouTube, and if you're just starting and you want advice or whatever, hit me up about it. Also, we've got the contests going on. We got 1 week left to submit for the competitions to win an A7 III and a whole pack of stuff. Like I said, there's a backpack and lights and monopod and microphones and music bed and shutout and all sorts of stuff. There is a link in the description to the announcement video for that with more information. So, yeah. Exciting stuff. Make sure you guys hit that like button on this live stream so YouTube tells more people to come join our little party. Amrita says, hey Justin, sorry, joining a little late. Heartiest congratulations. So excited for you. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining. And good on you for knowing my real name. All right. Sunil says, I can't wait till Dunna hits 1 million on YouTube. One of these days we'll get there, I'm sure. All right. What else do we got? You guys got any more YouTube-y questions? We got some camera settings stuff in here. I'm gonna try and keep it on topic today. I'm always answering you guys camera questions. Let's talk about content today. Sunil says, has content creation on YouTube affected your mental state? Yeah, I've learned a lot about life from being on YouTube and people, I think. I try and take it all with a grain of salt because people are different online than they are in real life, and everyone, you know, especially the negative stuff like keyboard warriors and stuff like that. I try and take that all, you know, with a grain of salt, but yeah, it's changed my mental state in probably both positive and negative ways, but I feel like I've learned a lot as part of my journey here on YouTube. So yeah. What else do we got? Anytime that I thought I might give up because it was too stressful. No, I don't think I've had that moment yet. I don't think I've had the moment where it got so stressful I thought I was going to quit. The only thing that's happened thus far is that I've had the moment where it got stressful enough that I skipped a week. I just gave myself a break. I've done that a couple of times lately, the COVID and everything going on with, you know, the injustice in the world and that kind of stuff has been weighing on me heavily. And so I've been taking some time to, you know, to reflect and to do what I needed to do to take a little break. But no, I don't think I've had that moment where I thought I was going to quit. Which is good. That's good. I never really thought about that before, but no, I don't think I have. All right. Aaron says, congrats on 100K. My goal this year is 10K. How do you balance full-time job with the dedication it takes to get to 100? Very difficultly. Is difficultly a word? I don't even know. Yeah, that's... I just have to have a very clear schedule. So I work a full-time job, and then I have 1 day a week that's dedicated to YouTube, basically Thursdays, if you guys couldn't tell. And I try and record some kind of a video there, and then I have this little slot each morning, this like 2-hour slot every morning that I have to edit and that kind of stuff. For my Monday releases. So between Thursday and Monday, I have to, in those morning slots, finish my edit. And then Saturday, Sunday, I spend with my wife. So I'm not doing any kind of work there. So really, I just I lump it all in together. It's hard sometimes. But it's, yeah, it's worth it. It's you kind of have to be dedicated. Like I said, I have that one full day and then a handful of little 2-hour chunks in my mornings. So I still need to figure it out though, because I'm often Sunday, I'm hanging out with my wife and I'm like, hey, any chance maybe I could just go do my thing for a little bit so that, you know, I can get a video out. And I'd like to get rid of that so that I don't, one, so that I don't stress about it on the weekend, and two, because I don't like taking time away from my time with my family. So, yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys all for coming. We got 48 people in the chat. We got a couple of super chats so far. I'm drinking some coffee. I hope you're drinking some coffee. I know some people were drinking bourbon, and that's okay too, as long as you're of age and being responsible. What else do we got? Danny says, when you first started YouTube, how did you find the process of YouTube tags? What's the secret to video reach, if there is a secret? My secret to YouTube tags is a website called Morning Fame. Maybe I will... let's see if I can... I'll leave it in the chat here for you. But yeah, so there's this website called Morning Fame, and you go on there and it allows you to... you basically type in the idea for your video. So whatever you think you're going to make, you kind of choose a video topic, and then it suggests some keywords that you might want to choose. And what I mean by that is, like, when you're choosing a title, you want to choose keywords that are potentially searchable, things that people are already searching for, something so that people can find you, essentially. And yeah, so, and then it goes through this step-by-step process. So then you find your keyword, and then you build a title out of your keyword, and then you can compare, and it checks out your channel and sees how likely you are to get suggested because of your keywords and your title. And then you can go and you build your title and your description and your tags and stuff, and you're trying to get, like, it kind of scores you. So it tries to give you the highest score that you can get to make sure that you rank for your videos, and tags is part of that. So I just left in the chat there, I just left the link. That's like my little affiliate link. So I think I get, if you use that to sign up or whatever, I think I get some free months or something like that. But I do pay for the pro account, but there is a free one as well. So highly recommend it. I use it on literally every video. So, and I think it's really, really helpful on, like, my reviews and stuff like that, to make sure that you can rank your videos higher. I don't know how, like, helpful it is for vlogs and stuff. I mean, it's the same thing, so it's gotta be helpful in some way, but highly recommended, 100%. Between that and, like, TubeBuddy is another great one that I use for certain things. But yeah, Morning Fame is great. Dina says, congrats on 100K, huge milestone. My goal is 1,000. You got it. You can do it. Just keep making videos. Danny says, get over to the UK. I'll make the coffee. How do you make coffee, Danny? That's what I want to know. What's your process? Max says, what advice do you have for an up-and-coming YouTuber, specifically a 12-year-old? Again, I'm just going to say it. Have fun with it, especially if you're that young. Have fun. Try a lot of different things. Don't stick yourself in a box right away. A lot of the big YouTube gurus and stuff like that talk about niching down and, like, picking a niche and then really, like, figuring out what kind of videos you're going to make. I suggest the opposite. And I don't mean that, like, if you're trying to, like, grow a YouTube channel, if you're going to treat it like a business, then okay, niche down. If you want to make it something that you continue to love to do, then try a bunch of different things. And once you find one that you really like, then start to repeat those kinds of videos. Yeah, that's probably the way that I would suggest it. So yeah. And that's awesome that you're starting when you're 12. I know it's like a super popular thing for kids nowadays to, you know, when they do the, like, what do you want to be when you grow up, and people are saying YouTubers. So good for you for starting early. How long did it take to get to 100K? I've had my channel for 3.5 years, something like that. It took the first year or so to get to 1,000, the second year to get to 10,000, and then another year to get to 100,000 or so. I think, anyway, that's like really, really ballpark. I don't even know if there's somewhere I could look at it, but how can I get more growth as a channel that only shows Lightroom mobile tutorial with no face or voice? Just keep making videos. That's super searchable. Use Morning Fame to do your tags and your titles and stuff like that. But with that type of content, really what you're trying to do is like be searchable. Be searchable, because that's the, you know, the kind of people that are going to watch your video are the people looking for answers, as opposed to, let's say, like a vlog channel, where the people who make vlogs and stuff, like that's more of an entertainment kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully that helps. From the Philippines with love, Rocky, welcome. Do you think posting one video a week helps with the algorithm? What has your experience been on YouTube? I like one video a week, but a lot of that just has to do with how much time I have. Because like I said, I have a full-time job. I kind of figured out how long it would take me to make each video and how much I could post. And at first it was a challenge because I was figuring everything out. Excuse me. It's been a challenge again lately because I've been using Final Cut Pro, so I'm learning a lot, which obviously takes a little bit more time because there's a learning curve to it. But so that's kind of why I chose one video a week. I've heard people say that 3 videos a week is the magic number for like optimal growth. But yeah, my experience has been pretty good. I think when people post, for me as a viewer, when people post more than one video a week, there's more of a chance that I'm going to miss their videos. Just because there's so much going by, you know? But maybe that's just because I'm not on, as a YouTube viewer, maybe I'm not on as much as people. But that's, I don't know, that's a tough one to say. I haven't dove into the reasoning behind people posting more, posting less. You know, there's the whole Casey Neistat daily vlog thing, just make a pile of videos and someone's gonna accidentally find you, that kind of mentality. Yeah, it's I don't know, once a week works for me. I've actually thought about dialing it back to like give myself more time to, how do I put it? Every once in a while, I put out a video that I feel like I'm not quite done with. Or I didn't get to like take it all the way as far as I wanted to. And it would be nice to like put out videos when I feel like they're done rather than every week. But I do like having that kind of restriction on myself to, you know, to keep myself pushing forward, because there is the possibility that if I gave myself unlimited time to finish a video until it was done kind of thing, that I would just never post it. So Vivian's back. Aaron seems pretty impressed by my 2 hours every morning. It's you gotta do it. What else do we got? Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. If you are just joining us, we're talking YouTube. We're talking about the contest that I've got running. So if you got any questions about that kind of stuff, and Sunil says Bun Bun. Yeah, that's one of the songs that's playing here. My songs are still, I thought I put it on Do Not Disturb mode. Wait, you guys can't see the songs. How did you know it was Bun Bun? That's funny. One of the songs that's playing in the background is called Bun Bun. But I just realized that I'm not sharing my screen, so you guys wouldn't know that. Sunil's on top of it. Simple Outdoors. This is a great question. Do you find it hard to ignore the other channel's growth or lack of growth? I find it impossible. I am constantly comparing myself to others, and I don't suggest it. Unless you can do it in a way that is kind of scientific and productive, you know, by looking at, let's say, for example, like one channel that I keep my eye on, one, because he's a friend of mine, and two, because we kind of do very similar content. We have reasonably similar personalities, and our channels are at almost exactly the same size right now, is Sydney Deongson. And so I keep an eye on kind of what his channel is doing and what's working and what's not. But I do it almost as if it's my own channel, the same way that you would like look at your own videos and kind of decide from there what, what's working and what's not, kind of thing. It's almost like I'm making twice as many videos to know which direction to go. So it can be helpful to look at other channels and stuff like that, but it can also be really harmful if you're just looking at them and feeling bad about how you're doing compared to them, or vice versa, if you're just patting yourself on the back because you're doing better than they are or whatever. That's not really a good way to do it either. It's not. Always try and remember that YouTube is not a competition. This is, I think, good advice for anyone starting a YouTube channel. The other people on YouTube are not your competitors, they're your peers. So people, if let's say, for example, the Sony ZV-1 that got released a little while ago there, and like 25 people released a video. For those of you who watched any of those videos, how many of those videos did you watch? Did you have to choose one video or the other one? Did you have to choose your favorite channel and not watch the other one? No, you didn't. You probably went and watched one, and then if somebody else is interested you also watched theirs, and maybe another one popped up that you didn't know about and you watched theirs too, and or maybe you only picked one or whatever. But the biggest thing there is that it's not a competition. It's not just like one or the other. You can watch all of them. You could, if you have enough time, you could literally sit there and watch as many videos as you want. So if me and, Gerald Undone make nearly the same video, it's not a competition between us. People can go and watch both, and they probably will, because Gerald will do it differently than I will. He'll do probably a much more technical version, and I might do a much more kind of practical kind of situation. Not that Gerald isn't practical about the way that he does things, but he just dives in way deeper. But you get what I mean. So, and if people want to watch both, they absolutely will. So, Ricardo says, any advice on how to niche down and not be all over the place, having difficulties on what to concentrate on? Congrats on 100K. Thank you. Thanks, man. He said, never mind, just answered it. Now, just to clarify, like before I was talking about not necessarily niching down, what I was talking about there is like starting out on YouTube and kind of like, I think a lot of people, when they're starting out on YouTube, they don't know what they want to do with it yet. They know they want to YouTube, but they don't know what to do with it yet. And it's not necessarily that you shouldn't niche down once you know, but you should experiment with things and then niche down. For example, like I started out with vlogs and I reviewed like earbuds. I did my top 10 Christmas songs. I actually like sang Christmas songs with a client that I was working in the studio with. Like I did a pile of stuff, and then eventually kind of like gradually settled into this like camera, photo, video thing, because it was something that I was really interested in and I really liked talking about. It's a funny thing because like I'm not someone who has been working in this industry for 10, 15 years. This is something like I picked up a camera 3 years ago. I'm the same as you guys, and I just like I happen to like learn really fast, I think, and I absorb information, and I wanted to pass that on to people who are like me, who are trying to learn as well. So it's like this game where you start out really wide and then you gradually find what works for you, and that balance of like I had to keep it fun, something that I enjoy talking about, but also I like playing the YouTube game, the niching down and the algorithm and all that kind of stuff, and trying to grow the channel. So yeah, that was a long-winded answer to your question, I think. Time for coffee. All right, what else do we got? Shirley and Sarana Productions say, congrats on 100K done. I've been around since the iconic Sigma 16mm review. Hard-hitting question. If you had to live on tea instead of coffee, what kind of tea would it be? That's easy. It would be mint tea. Mint? Green mint. Wait, Moroccan mint. Wait, is my wife still in the chat? What kind of tea do I drink? It's some kind of minty tea. There's a specific brand, but I can't even think of what it is. That's funny. I think it's a Moroccan mint. Yeah, anyway. Thanks for the question. That is a great question. I'm very much a coffee guy, but I do drink tea. When it's too late to have a coffee, I usually have a tea. Vivian says Final Cut Pro is so hard to use. LOL. I don't know. It is if you're used to something else, I think. If you're coming from scratch to Final Cut Pro, it's not bad. If you're just learning it the same way. There, my wife just said it's Numi brand Moroccan mint. That's my tea. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, there's lots of Simple Outdoors just pointed out there's lots of tutorials for it. And I mean, same thing with Premiere Pro. I don't know. I personally think Premiere Pro is more intuitive for me, just the way that my brain works. And I think that's really what it comes down to. I did a whole live stream on this about like switching, because people are always like, if you're trying a new piece of gear, a new software or something like that, they're like, oh, are you switching? And it's like, no, I'm just trying something, but or I could use both. But yeah, it's interesting to like, I think a lot of gear and software and that kind of stuff is just about how you work as a human and which one's going to work best for you. Carlos says, YouTube question. Thank you for pointing that out. It makes it easy to find it. How do you get inspired and come up with new ideas? Oh, that's a difficult one. I've been finding that really hard lately. I get really backed up with accepting too much gear from companies that want me to try it and review it and that kind of stuff. And I feel obligated sometimes to do something with it. And then I end up just like pumping out these gear videos instead of like coming up with something creative. And lately I've been really struggling to get back into creative mode after a whole bunch of gear videos. And it's not that I'm not excited about the gear too, but like, I don't know, just, you know, things like I did a video, what was it called now? I can't even think of it. I did a video of, that was kind of about my trip to the West Coast with my wife. And it was like a voiceover thing, and it was like all just like, it was like an art kind of piece. It wasn't about any gear or anything like that. And it was like, it was really close to me, and it was really creative and fun, and just like, I don't know. I would love to do more stuff like that, but it is hard to, when I have the deadline of once a week, it is hard to make that happen all the time. So, as far as like coming up with the new ideas, I think just like sitting down and making myself come up with the new ideas is usually how I do it. There's no like epiphany moment or anything like that, or process that I go through. I just sit down and I say, I need to come up with some ideas. And I sit down and I just flex my brain until they pop out. We got a super chat. We got a two, I don't even know what that is, 2R super chat, and I don't know what it says because it's in a different language, so I'm going to Google Translate. Let's see. Enter the text. It says, Brazilian greetings. Hey, welcome. Must be Portuguese, I guess. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you hanging out. And then they're saying a bunch of other stuff. I'm sorry, I don't speak Portuguese, and I don't want to take up too much time translating. Oh wait, can I just highlight it and translate it? Nice. I arrived in super chat. Okay. I'm very trying to quickly translate all these. There was another super chat here from Tyson. $100. Thank you so much. Wow, that's incredibly generous. Says Dunny Rock, thank you for the interaction on Insta. I remember your video talking about the A6600, and through it I decided to move full frame to full frame in the A7 III from the 6500. Keep being great. I appreciate your realness. Thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me know that, and for the super chat. That's amazing. So nice. Yeah, wow. That's awesome. I love, one of my favorite things is when I get messages from people on Instagram or in the comments or whatever, just letting me know that one of my videos helped them in some way. It's so rewarding. I was talking earlier about how like there's an overwhelming amount of positive in the comment section and in the DMs and stuff comparatively to negative, and that's just one of my favorite kinds of positive awesomeness, is when people let me know that my videos made a difference. I just love it. I love hanging out with you guys. Corporus says, niche question: how can we get more YouTubers sponsored by coffee companies? You tell me, because James Coffee is taken. So I really would love to get Kicking Horse on my team here. I spend so much money on coffee. I would just love to get some free coffee. All right. For whatever reason, it says only gringo here. I don't know if what that means. Send hi. Pass a rote. Hello. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to translate your stuff as fast as I can. What do we got? Christopher Mitchell says, congratulations, Stun. I love your channel. Thank you so much, Christopher. I see you in the comments all the time. Dina says, people seem to be more attracted to channels where people show their face, and I understand why. I make Lightroom mobile editing tutorials and I don't show my face or speak, so how can I grow faster? I kind of touched on that, I think, before. Like, if you're like, I'm not showing my face, then it's going to come down to making sure that your videos as they are really good and concise and like planned out well and that kind of stuff. But also that your tags and your titles and your thumbnails, those have to be amazing. They have to be really good. I like watching videos where they're just showing the screen and stuff. That's very helpful. It's not, I think one of the things that you'll be missing with that kind of style without showing the face is that you might not get the same kind of connection to the audience. Just because, like, you know, for example, on this channel, like, I show my face in every single video, and so people know what I look like. So when I'm on Twitter and they see my little emblem and they know, you know, my face or whatever like that, they kind of feel like they're talking to a real human. Whereas I think if you don't show your face ever, you might miss some of that connection. You're literally just a source of information, which can be a little bit difficult to get, like, followers that are like dedicated kind of thing, and but it's not impossible, you know. I think it's still doable, and I think that what you'll see is probably certain videos will do really well because lots of people are searching for it, and other videos won't do as well. Whereas if you're the kind of channel that has a really dedicated following, you'll probably see a big spike for when you release every video, because your dedicated followers will all watch that video, and then you'll see a fall off on that video because it might not be as searchable. But for your stuff, you're wanting to hit off that really searchable kind of stuff. All right, Pass a Rote. I'm sorry, but I gotta hide you. Oh, here, I'll put you in a timeout because you're blocking up the chat. There we go. I don't know what that did. 300 seconds, it says. Anyway, that's new. All right. What else do we got in the chat? Kyle and Andrea says Adobe Premiere equals Pro Tools, Final Cut Pro X equals Reaper. Let's just say I'm more of a Reaper kind of guy for a lot of reasons. That's funny. Yeah. For the audio nerds out there, you'll know what's going on there. Kyra says, YouTube question, is it noticeable and is it okay to only do 1080 instead of 4K videos? My cameras are not 4K. I know it's not about the gear, etc. But really, what do you think? A lot of my videos, parts of my videos are shot in 1080 because my cameras, if I want to shoot any slow motion, are all 1080. Now the main talking part is typically shot in 4K 24. But no, there's no problem with 1080. 1080 is great. What I do suggest, here's a little tip. If you shoot your whole video in 1080, edit your whole video in 1080, and then export it from whatever program you're using, export it in 4K at the suggested YouTube 4K bitrate and all that kind of stuff, which I think is like 45 megabits per second or something like that. Export it at that, and then when it goes up onto YouTube, they won't compress it as much because they're expecting a 45 megabit 4K file. Whereas if you go to upload it in 1080, they only accept, I think, like 10 bit or 16 bit or 16 megabit per second or something along those lines. So you're basically like, you're not getting any more quality, but what you're doing is you're telling YouTube, or you're tricking YouTube into not squishing or compressing your video more. But no, there are lots of great creators that still upload in 1080. It's fine. Just that's my little hack that I learned a while ago is to still upload in 4K, and then YouTube doesn't squash it as much. Sunil says, for the video challenge, can we upload an unlisted YouTube link? Yeah, as long as I can watch it, you're good to go. What's your favorite coffee style? Do you mean like the style of like how I make coffee? Because if that's the case, AeroPress is probably my favorite. What do we got in the chat here? Thanks again for coming out, guys. We got 51 people in the chat. If you guys haven't done it already, hit that little like button. We're gonna go for a little while here, or a little longer here. If you guys have any YouTube questions, let me know. I think I'm even like almost caught up on the chat here. YouTube questions. Kyra says, thanks. I actually do slide the bits up a lot for that reason, so that's awesome. I'll try the 4K setting. There you go. How do you plan your videos? So I have kind of a template that I use. How do I explain this? I have a template in my notes app that I use that has like a spot for an idea, and then a title, and then thumbnail ideas and that kind of stuff. It all kind of starts with like, I make a little list of ideas that I might want to do videos for, and then I kind of fill out this template that I use in my my notes app, which I use Bear Notes, and then typically I will write kind of a script from there, and sometimes it's like a word for word script, and sometimes it's just like a point form script. Then I usually shoot, if it's going to be the kind of video where I have like a talking head part, I'll shoot that all first, and sometimes I'll edit that first, and then while I'm editing that, I will actually make more notes for all the B-roll that I want. Then I'll shoot the B-roll and I'll place it in. Then I do titles, color grading, and audio stuff. So that's pretty much the whole process. And then of course there's like thumbnail. What else do I have to do? Like all my tags and title stuff, you know, all that kind of stuff, which I should probably do beforehand, but I don't most of the time. Steven says, how's it going, Dana? A little late for the stream, but speaking of exports and uploads, what are your export settings for Instagram? For my photos on Instagram, it's 72 ppi, 1080 wide by 1350 tall. I have a video about that too. If you take a look on my channel, I have my export settings video. Paul Feinberg, what's up, Paul? My camera camp homie. Any tips on making better thumbnails and titles? I struggle with that. Again, I'm gonna just drop this in here again. Morning Fame. Oh no, that's not Morning Fame anymore. Where did it go? Yeah, Morning Fame is like my favorite way to come up with titles and stuff. And like you got to learn how to use it a little bit, and then you got to decide how much you want to follow it, because it can get a little robotic if you follow it to the T, but it's so helpful for titles. And you can actually, there's a little function in there where you can try out your thumbnails against the other thumbnails that will probably show up with your keywords as well. So helpful. Yeah, and as far as like coming up with the ideas for thumbnails, I am like a last minute, like I have a video and I need a thumbnail for it, so I just like make something up. I really am not methodical about my thumbnails. I really dislike making thumbnails, to be completely honest. But faces do well. If there's a face, some kind of expression. That's why you always see the YouTubers where they're like their thumbnail is like. Do you think I froze for a sec? Yeah, so like that's pretty typical for people to do that, because it catches your attention, something about seeing the eyes and that kind of stuff. But yeah, there are lots of really great videos out there on doing better titles and thumbnails and stuff that can explain a lot better than I can in a little blurb here. But that's kind of the approach that I take. Yeah. Danny says, do you ever worry about the reception your next video will get? Do you feel you make your own enjoyment or what the community would like to see? I do a bit of a mix. I do pay attention to what I think will do well, but I can usually find a way to make that what I would want. And also they often overlap, because I'm just going to say this again, I'm just like you guys. I am someone who picked up a camera a couple of years ago and is learning. And all I'm doing is passing on what I'm learning to you guys. And it's just gotten me to the point where, I have some notoriety and there are people who like the way that I communicate that. And so, that's great. It's cool to like get gear early and that kind of stuff. And there's some dogs barking. But yeah, so like, and that's cool and stuff, but really like it's this kind of balance between like figuring out what's going to work and something that's going to be fun. If there's a video that I think will be the most successful video and I don't think it's something that I want to do, I won't do it. There's no way. So it really is about finding this balance between the two, and it's really not that hard, because there are so many people watching YouTube videos that whatever you want to do, someone wants to watch it. Like that's really what it comes down to. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I get halfway through an answer and I forget what the question was, so I just keep babbling. Is objectivity or subjectivity more powerful in reviews? Speaking facts versus your opinion. I try and do a bit of a mix, and there's a reason for that. When I first started out, and this is something that you guys can do too. When I first started out and I decided I was going to try and do my first lens review, I went and watched the other lens reviews of that, lens, and not necessarily to like steal the content that they have, but I literally took a piece of paper and I wrote down the things about the way that they presented that video that I liked and the things that I didn't like. And I built off of that. I made sure to include the things that I like and not include the things that I didn't like, or avoid the things that I didn't like, because sometimes it's like unconscious stuff. And yeah. And so that's like how I approach that to start with. Yeah, sorry, there's some stuff in the chat here. We're kind of spamming a little bit here. Hey, Passarote, this is a little warning that if you don't stop spamming the chat, I'm gonna have to block you. All right. Jeez, I'm getting strict. I forget what I was talking about now. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so like when I was making my first review, and I did that kind of like research to decide what I wanted, and I kind of came up with this formula where I think the first thing that I do is I state all of the things about that item. It might as well be an unboxing where you're just like, okay, here are the specs that I found on the spec sheet. Here's what's in the box. Here's what it, how it kind of feels and that kind of stuff. And then afterwards I say like, and here are my thoughts on it in case you want it. So then if someone is coming to the video and they don't give a crap what my thoughts are on it, they get all that information. And then for the people who do come to watch me and want my opinion on it, that kind of comes after, or sometimes it's like sprinkled within, but there is both, so that kind of both types of people get what they need out of it. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Sorry, I got sidetracked there in the middle. Let me find where I was. Punky G says, can we re-upload a video if we already submitted it? If you already submitted it, you're in the contest. You're good to go. So don't re-upload. Maybe I don't understand the question, but I don't think so. Coffee time while I find the next question in the chat. Hey, find the next question in the chat. As a video guy, do you think there's a demand for more audio or video related channels and content? My audio tutorials do not do well. So I'd say probably video stuff. People like to talk about lenses. They don't like to talk about lights, and they don't like to talk about audio equipment. So if you're looking purely from a numbers standpoint, go with camera bodies and lenses, and like techniques and stuff like that is good as well. But yeah, lights and lighting. Maybe I just haven't cracked that market or something. Maybe YouTube doesn't trust me as a light and audio guy, which is really funny because I'm an audio guy as a profession, but yeah. Do you have an intro for your videos? If so, what did you use to make it? I do have an intro for my videos. I don't always use it though. It kind of depends. It kind of depends on, yeah, it really depends on like what is happening in the video. Sorry guys, I'm hiding our spam user here. So there we go. Yeah, so it depends on what's going on in the video and if I think it actually makes sense. Sometimes like my intro's a little long, and I actually paid to have it made on Fiverr. I was doing it, well, Fiverr paid to make it. It was a collaboration with Fiverr, and so they had one of their creators that I connected with for my video. But I do recommend going and checking out some of the sellers on Fiverr, or just like searching out some people who do intro videos and stuff like that, because there are lots out there. There's also like there are some templates and stuff. I am seeing a lot of the same intro templates from people from, you know, places like Storyblocks and that kind of stuff that do have like some really cool templates, but I do start to see the same ones a lot. So be careful of that. But yeah, so that's another option. I'm getting caught up. I'm trying. I'm going fast. You guys are chatting amongst yourselves, which is really nice. Sunil's answering everyone's questions, it seems. I apologize, I am kind of skipping over questions that aren't necessarily related to today's topic. If you guys ever want to ask me questions, DM me. DM me on Instagram. I try and answer as many of them as I can, or leave a comment on my videos or anything like that. I do try and answer as many as I can. The live stream is just a little harder to get to everybody. Kyle and Andrea says brighter image thumbnails tend to work better due to the visual attention grabber. So that was going back to Paul's question about thumbnails. Yes, bright thumbnails, which I really dislike because I have this nice black wall that I painted, and I like to make dark thumbnails because they look good to me, but they're not as eye grabbing. So big bright colors are often the best way to go for thumbnails if you really wanted to have high performing thumbnails. All right. Shane is here. Hey, bro, I'm late, but showing some love as always. Welcome, Shane. Thanks for coming by. Dutch Can Jam. Hi, Donna. Dave here from Vancouver. Hope all is well in Edmonton. Got Final Cut Pro X question. Oh, I thought it was a YouTube question. I'll continue with it, though, anyway. When setting up a new project, what do you set the project frame rate to and rendering codec to? I set the project frame rate to 24 frames per second and rendering codec to... I don't set the rendering codec. Is it automatic? It's probably ProRes, I think, because that's what Final Cut Pro works best in. Yeah, so that's it. Answered that one. Nailed it. Paul Feinberg, when you posting the video on your sick music here? As soon as I figure out how to do it. I still, there's just been a lot going on, and I still haven't figured out how to make it. I'm thinking, so I got access to the channel memberships through YouTube now, so I might make it that where it's like a monthly membership, and then you get access to the music, and I whitelist your channel for using my music or something along those lines. Chris Phelps says, do you attempt to publish your videos at certain times/days, or is it just whenever you're finished the video? Monday morning at 6:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time or Mountain Standard Time when we're not on daylight. There's the hair hanging in my face. That's it. Yeah, Monday mornings. I don't know why I picked it. I just picked it when I first started my channel 3 years ago. Monday mornings, 6:30 a.m. I think I do kind of know why I picked it, because I thought I could catch people before work. And they're dreading going to work because it's Monday morning, and they want to get that one YouTube video in. So, and it's early enough that I can catch them before work if they're on the East Coast. But you know, if they wake up, if they're West Coast and they wake up a couple hours later or whatever, like they'll still see it because it'll still be in rotation, I think. Yeah, actually going back to Paul's question there. So the music that you guys have been listening to, and I've said this in too many live streams, I'm getting sick of saying it because I should have done something about it a long time ago, is music that I made that I want to make available kind of for sale for you guys to use in your videos and stuff. But I've been struggling to find a way to do it. If I made it as part of like a channel membership, is that something you guys would be interested in? They're kind of like Patreon. Or maybe I'll just use Patreon. Maybe that's another way that I can do it. But I still need to figure out logistics. But is that something you guys would be interested? Like a couple of bucks a month or something like that, you know? And then you would get access to using the music that I make, and I could constantly be putting more and more music out there. Yeah, let me know. Let me see if I can find another question here. What kind of mic are you using for this live, and what kind of coffee are you drinking? This is a Rode NT1A, and this is Kicking Horse 454 horsepower. And speaking of which, all right. Dutch Can Jam says many thanks. My pleasure. Thanks for the question. All right. I'm pretty much caught up in the chat here. I love to share and take the video of vlog, but it's not helping me get more subscribers, as you know it's not searchable. Do you have any suggestions for me for a video idea except camera lens or tech? Honestly, if you want to vlog, keep vlogging. It's gonna be a long game, and try and have some kind of like a theme or an idea for each vlog. Don't just try to stay away from just making it like, I'm doing this, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. Like, try and come up with some kind of an idea for each vlog that can kind of roughly go around what you're doing. And then go from there, and just you got to recognize that the vlog game is a long game for sure. Like, it's going to take some time. It's not something that grows overnight the way that like a review channel or something like that has the option to do, because it's so searchable. There's like viral videos, and then searchable videos, and then there's like entertainment videos, which are like vlogs and stuff like that. It's just like, you just have to be entertaining and make people want to watch you. You're telling a story. You just have to get people into it. And unless you're a big budget TV company and you have advertising dollars, like, people are just going to have to eventually come across you. So you just got to make lots of videos and try and keep them as interesting as possible. Hopefully that helps. Brenda's got to get out of here later. Brenda, thanks for hanging out. I'm seeing our numbers dwindle a little bit. Maybe we're coming to a close here. Paul says, interesting. Did you find your channel growing more when you picked one upload day? I just randomly upload one time a week whenever I get it done. I honestly don't. I have no reference of anything else. Literally from the time I started my channel, I uploaded Monday morning at 6:30. I've always done it that way. I have no idea what would happen if I uploaded other times. Farts Photography with the super chat. Thank you so much for the coffee coin, getting me caffeinated. Since starting YouTube, how many crazed fans have asked you for an autograph or to take a photo with them? Absolutely zero. I don't think I have any crazed fans yet. It's yet to come, I guess. I have really respectful and wonderful fans for the most part. People who just seem like wonderful people. So I sell these notebooks. I don't know if I have one handy. I made up these notebooks. Let's see if you can see it there. Focus. Come on. It's not working. There we go. So I made up these notebooks, and I've been selling them on my website for a while. I'm almost out actually now. And I gave people the option for if they wanted me to write a message and sign it on the inside, and lots of people do, but nobody's gotten weird about it. So, and I asked you, I'm like, do you want me to write something on the inside? And then I kind of asked, like, what is there anything specifically? And some people are like, they want me to wish them good luck on their channel or whatever, but nobody's done anything weird quite yet. So, what else do we got? Thanks for the super chat, dude. How do my collab videos come about? Are they usually started by you or one of the other YouTube channels? It's a mix. Either someone reaches out to me because they've got an idea, or I reach out to someone else because I've got an idea. It's a little bit of both here and there. Yeah. I don't think there's a formula for that. Working on something with Leela right now, if you guys know her. This is my favorite song. I don't know which one was playing when you said that, but Kyle and Andrea says, I love seeing channels I watch show up in other channels I watch. Yeah, I want to do more collabs with more of the like people that I know and stuff, but it takes a lot of time and effort, and I'm already struggling to make one video a week. Rich is here. Evening, Donna. I have some great news. I finally saved up the money to upgrade to a new camera. I'm going to buy the Sony a7 III and the Tamron line of lens. Amazing. Love that combo. I have those guys. All right. Sack Spy says, in the beginning, is selling things you review good or worth keeping around? I don't know exactly. Like, I guess I'm trying to think about, sorry, I'm thinking here and I'm pausing. I'm trying to think about like what I've kept around and what I've sold. Like when I first started out, everything that I was reviewing was stuff that I already bought. So I bought it to keep it. I didn't buy it to sell it. It can be helpful to keep it around for a while if somebody wants to see like a comparison or something like that. Like if I make a review video on a certain gimbal, and then later on I get this other gimbal, and then I can do a video on comparing them. It can be helpful to keep them around, but first of all, I have way too many gimbals around because I thought that was a good idea. And other than that, I think selling stuff is fine. Excuse me. And now that my channel is bigger, obviously, like, you know, companies are reaching out to me more and sending me stuff to review more. And I do let it sit around for quite a while in case it comes in handy, and then eventually, you know, I'll throw it up on the old Kijiji up in here in Canada, which is like Craigslist, for those of you who don't know, and sell some of it locally. Yeah, so I don't mind. I buy and sell stuff a lot, change up my kit a lot. So yeah. What do you think about the new Epidemic Sound site makeover? Finding sound effects is so much easier, says Tyson. I did, my most recent video was, I think, all Epidemic stuff because I wanted to try out their new look. It's cool. There is one little catch though. Somebody brought this up to me the other day, that their logo is exactly the same logo as another company's logo. Their new logo. It's literally the exact same thing. I don't know how that happened, and I don't know if they know, but yeah. And I must admit, I think I like their old look better, but I get what they were going for with this one. And in the end, like, they have a good service, so I'm not really worried about what it looks like. But yeah, it was super easy to find stuff. Their playlists are good. They've got really cool, like, for like talking over and stuff like that. They got lots of options there. So definitely a great service. I do find myself primarily, I think, using MusicBed. But I also use Epidemic Sound and Artlist from time to time, depending on what I need. They're all kind of different and have different options, and so I kind of go to one for different things. Yeah. Donsei Kang says, congrats on 100K. Have a good evening. Take care. Later. Thanks for coming by. All right, you guys, I think our numbers are dwindling. People are heading off to bed, that kind of thing. So I think we're going to wrap it up here and call her a day. If you guys do have more questions and stuff, feel free to DM me on Instagram or leave a comment somewhere or anything like that. Yeah. Oh, Chris showed up just at the last minute here. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming out. make sure that you guys get into the contest. If you haven't checked it out, there is a link in the description, so you can go check that out. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Make sure your bell notifications are turned on, and all the things that I'm supposed to say at the end of a video, because I really like you guys, and thanks for hanging out with me in this live stream. Good night.